All right, first and foremost, give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Kakodash, that belongs to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who rule well and who's worthy to be counted for double honors. And peace and salutation to you brothers out there pushing this truth wholeheartedly and sincerely and for the love of the gospel. All right, it's the brother Gabari from the Indiana camp. Come back at you again with another sit down to basically talk about experience, man. All right, you know, I'm just entitled experience. All right, because the one thing about this truth that I realize, man, experience is key, man. All right. Repetition is the father of all skills. So the more you do something, the more you get proficient at that skill, the more you master that skill. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and just hop in straight into scriptures. This is Sirach chapter 34 and verse 9. It says, a man that traveleth knoweth many things. He that hath much experience will declare wisdom. All right. So basically, man, it's talking about a person walking in his faith, man. Okay. If you've been in this truth anywhere between to 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 years, man, you have much experience. All right, you have experience in doing certain things. Okay, you know, I'm not saying that a guy that's coming in this truth to 1 to 2 years is not going to know the same thing as you. You know, but the thing about it is that person that has that much experience, he understands certain things more than others. All right. You know, let's give it for the elders at one point. You know, the elders of Great Millstone. You know, they've been in this truth anywhere between 25 to 30 years. All right, give or take. So they're gonna know way more amount. They're gonna know way more amount of things more than the average year to 10-year person. All right. Because why? Because they've been through it. They've been seeing things way beyond before you was even thought of, probably. You know, before you even knew yourself was an Israelite, before you even know what an Israelite was, they were doing this, they were studying, and a lot of people forget, the elders and apostles, they've been knowing things now before the internet was really even a thing. You know, you got to think back in the 90s, back in the 80s, back in the 60s, you know, that's when the elders were studying, you know, learning from books, when you had to get it really from books, man. All right. It wasn't you going on YouTube or you going on the internet and typing in some type of the breakdown of Alexander the Great, the breakdown of this. They had to watch movies and they had to read books. All right. So you got to think they made it very, very clear that before the internet was even came out. So a lot of people say, you got your breakdown from this person. You got your breakdown. Hey, listen, the internet wasn't a thing yet, you know. Documentaries and all that other stuff, yeah, that was prevalent. But guess what? That's when VHS and that's before CDs and everything, you know, before you can go on the internet and look at this documentary or go on the internet and get this breakdown or go on the internet and look this up, look that up, you know. That was before any of that, man, you know. So the elders, they did some really, really heavy studying, you know, to get the breakdowns that we have today, man. It's just the internet helped push it and help confirmed it, you know. Now we have certain resources that we can get to that help confirm what we've already believed in, you know. That's what the scripture says, that you have been assured of, man. Because guess what? The elder apostles came out with it, said it. They gave you their sources. Now when you go do your own study, you go do your own research, you have other sources on top of what you already had, you know. That's experience, man, you know. And hey, I got this breakdown from Elder Malcolm in Chicago. He said, man, walking in snow is easier the second and third and fourth time doing it again, man. All right, because you already have a trail. You know, he used the analogy of mimes, of, you know, the land mimes. You know, you don't get blown up if you follow the foot trails of another person. But I'm using an example of snow, man. You know, if you're walking in snow, that first person that treads, he's going to have a way tougher time because he doesn't have a trail. He has pure white snow that he has to get through. But guess what? If he goes to walk that the second time and the third time, the fourth time, and the same trail that he did, it's going to start making a path. All right. And then eventually by the third or fourth time, that path is going to be so visible, you can see it, you know. I remember one time I was walking to school dead in the winter, and I was walking to school on 5 days out of the week, where you actually could see my path and what footsteps I had from the previous day, the day before that, because I was walking to school, you know, and where I can see my own footprints, you know. And sometimes I'll step out, you know, into probably a patch of grass and then come back the next day and still see my footprints right there, you know, from what I did a couple of days ago. You know, so I had a trail that I kept walking every single day where I didn't even need directions. Matter of fact, just look at Just look at it like this. If you go to a certain place every single day, let's say you just moved to a city. Let's say you just moved to California, and you want to visit a Starbucks. That Starbucks is 2 miles away. You're going to first, GPS there? You might GPS there for the first, couple of days. Let's say you GPS there for a week straight. After so long, you're going to learn your way. You're going to learn and you're going to memorize it. And then what's the next step after that? You're going to know how to get there through different other ways. You might be somewhere else, but you still know how to get to that Starbucks. You might, oh man, I'm at the house. I know I can just take this way and get straight to Starbucks. A month later, oh, I can take this street. Oh, this street goes to Starbucks too. Matter of fact, this street is way easier. So the more you get proficient with a skill, the more you perfect that skill. So guess what? You're not going to always trip over that skill over and over again, And then if somebody comes to you, guess what? You're already assured because you already been through that. You've researched it. You've done the studies to prove that point over and over and over again, So that's how you're supposed to look. That's how you're supposed to be in this truth, man. You're not supposed to keep tripping over the same little things that you stumbled at 2, 4, 5 years ago, If you have a skill, you get proficient at that skill, then guess what? That skill is no longer going to be a hurdle to get over, man. Now you're looking at something else to get. Now you're looking at something else to overcome, man. That's why we said this thing is a constant growing pace. This thing is constant growing. You're gonna constantly keep growing over and over and over again. But you shouldn't be backtracking. You shouldn't be what's it called going backwards. Verse 11. Slocky, I kind of went on a tangent there. Verse 11 says, "When I traveled, I saw many things, and I understood more than I can express. Since I was oft times in danger of death, yet I would deliver because of these things." All right. So yeah, man. That's basically proving that point of traveling. You getting much experience. Let me get this. This is 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 17. It says, "Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honors, especially they that who labor in the word and doctrine." All right. And has not the elder and apostles been laboring in the word and doctrine? They have since I've seen it. It's very rare, if to no chance, I've seen them not go out or make a video. So they've been laboring in the word and doctrine faithfully, man, ever since they stepped foot into the truth, man. Okay. They've been edifying, man. They've been building up, men. All right. Since day one. All right. Since I've seen them. Since now, So guess what, man? Hey, that's how they're a great example of how we should be, man. Not getting tripped up on certain little things, man. Once you get because you gotta think, man. Once you understand and have knowledge on a certain situation, there's no more a cloak for your sins. Okay, if you know what to do, if you know what not to do and still do it, man, hey, there's not going to be no cloak. Now, yes, we're saved up under mercy, so guess what? We're going to have hiccups. We're going to trip over certain things. But I'm talking about from them little, I ain't going to say little baby, little statutes, laws, and commandments we keep. But I'm talking about for the things that men know to keep and don't do it, man. All right, whether you're doing it willingly or unwillingly, man. Whether you have to, how can I say, get on yourself, For example, the Sabbath, man. All right. If you know the Sabbath is coming up, or whether you don't know where the Sabbath is coming up, just inquire. Man, when is the Sabbath? Oh, the Sabbath is today. I'm glad I looked it up, man. I was gonna go off. You have some. You might have some men be like, oh man, I haven't celebrated the Sabbath. And hey, when the Sabbath? Look it up. You shouldn't. If you've been in the truth for a number amount of years, you shouldn't always be inquiring, oh, when the Sabbath? When is the Sabbath? You know the source. You know how to get to the source, man. You know the way. Well, I know the Sabbath is a new moon. Let me look up the new moon. Oh, the new moon is such and such tonight or such and such tonight. I actually count it. From the high Sabbath, I know from the high Sabbath, I have 3 more Sabbaths I have to keep after this, and where it's embedded into me now, For example, man, hey, because I remember, hey, I had went off on a Sabbath one time, I had went off on a Sabbath and I didn't vow, but I basically said to myself, listen, I'm never going to let a Sabbath go by where I do this. Basically, I'm never going to do this again on another Sabbath day. I'm going to make sure I'm going to embed it in myself to make sure that I know exactly when the Sabbath falls in and when it doesn't, I embedded into myself, man. I ain't gonna say I'm proud, but I'm glad to say that ever since that day, I have not went off yet. You know. Now, yes, do granted. Oh, so you telling me you never worked on the Sabbath day, you never kindled a fire, you haven't. I'm not saying that. You know, because yes, those things are, you know, that's where grace falls in at. But the specific activity that I did on the Sabbath, I have not done that. I have not done that activity yet since then. You know, if that makes sense. Okay. So the elders that we count for double honors, you know, that's, you know, the beginning of my statement. I always say who was worthy to be counted for double honors, you know, which is what the one the who labor in the word and doctrine, man. You know, whether it be in the heads of the camp or whether it be all the way to the apostles, man. They're what? They're counted for double honors. Okay. So, hey, man, experience is a key, man. The things that we learned when we were what 4 or 5 years in the truth, man. Keep those same exercise the more you grow up, man. All right, and that's all I gotta say. Shalom.